And God is consensual. God is interested in a consensual relationship with all the information. And so, well, because that's the nature of God, right? If that's not the nature of God, then our understanding of what God is different than what God is. If God's interested in a non-consensual relationship or whatever, then that changes like the consent pattern of the relationship. And I don't know, I think something part of the nature of the laws of consciousness, or the laws that govern consciousness as a thing, as an entity, or as like a, I don't know, force, an energy, an existing like tangible thing. Maybe. I don't know, I think there's just laws that govern it. And so like consent is part of that. Informed consent though. And like deception in any form is anyway deception. There's no loopholes in the God realm. There's no loopholes when it comes to consent with the universe. Like, you know what you're doing. Be impeccable with your word and action. Let your outsides match your insides, and let what you say be what you say. Yay is yay or nay is nay, and make sure that you're being clear in your communications and stuff like that. Making sure everybody understands the nuance with which you're speaking. You're not being sneaky and clever and hidden and cool. You're going to be upfront. And even if you're sparing somebody's feelings, I don't know, I just feel like the truth will make you free, not will set you free. The truth does not set you free. The truth will make you free. So I think God, by God's nature, He's consensual. So that's why when people are like, well, why do I have to pray for it? If God already knows what I want, if God already knows what I need, why would I need to ask? Well, because God's all about consent. He's not going to help you if you don't ask. I think there's a parenting style that does it. I think it's a Native American parenting style that does that. Like, lets a child struggle until the child asks. Like, everyone wants the button. Let me help you. Let me help you. Let me help you carve that pumpkin. Let me help you color that picture. Let me help you cut on that line. And maybe we should let the kids ask. You know, let them try. Let them get a try in. They're pretty good at it. How else are they going to learn anyway? They got to practice. So maybe just wait till your kid asks you for help before you jump in with your help. You know, I probably jump in more than I should with the help, but I try to curtail it. I heard that early on in my parenting, and I thought that was pretty good. Anyway, I think that's what God does to the extreme level. He parents us that way. If we don't ask, He's not going to force. Force and control is not in God's nature. It's not force and control. He says that's not the way. So, but then you have to know what you're getting yourself into. What kind of relationship is this with God? This third entity, a third live, real, existing entity there that's asking you to do what with it? Like, what are you supposed to do? Like, what does worship it mean? Like, what do you mean worship you? What are we supposed to do with that information? What are we supposed to do? Okay, here you are. What are we doing in life? What are we covenanting to do? What's our agreement? What's going on? And what's the relationship? Am I being bound in some way? Am I being tricked in some way? Is this some sort of like universal trick somehow? Some kind of sneaky, crafty consent, like backwards consent, like I'm going to say the words and then you're going to unwittingly consent to something you didn't know you were consenting to. Like, is this something like that? I feel like that's a loophole. I feel like that's not real consent. That's not anything like real consent. That's just a loophole. People thought like, oh, that'll work. Like, I can trick God. It's like, no, sorry, you can't trick God. Like, well, I'm not sorry. It's just like, I'm sorry that you were under that impression, but no, God will not be tricked. He came in like a lamb last time. He says he's coming like a lion this time. He says he's coming with a sword. Last time he came with an olive branch. This time he's coming with a sword. You know, she's got her swatting stick out. She's not happy with this nonsense. Better shape it up. I say she. Who knows? Gender fluidity now, you know? It's Mary, the mother of Jesus. She just doesn't seem like that. She seems a sweet person. Doesn't seem like she has like the swatting stick. Or was a swatting stick kind of mother. You know, she'd be just like a very sweet mother. And when Jesus goes missing, they go all the way back, you know. I was thinking about this with the kids the other day. When they came into their town and they realized Jesus wasn't with them, and they were, you know, they were paying their taxes or doing whatever they were doing. And they were coming back and Jesus wasn't there. And so they're like, oh no, we got to go back to get him, you know. If you think about that though, the story, like you think about, you're traveling in a caravan anyway, because it's dangerous, because you're going to get robbed and killed. It's like, it's just a dangerous thing to do generally, to travel. You're on foot, you're exposed, you have all your valuables because you're paying somebody money, or I don't know. Anyway, it's sketchy, and you've left all your stuff back home. Like, it's dangerous, it's annoying, it's a stressful thing to do. And then your kid's just gone, and it would just, you'd wonder if they got kidnapped or they're just gone, you know. Just, I think you'd walk back that road just expecting to find a body, or just hoping to at least find a body, so at least you'd know what happened. I don't think you'd go back expecting to just go get him. And you get all the way back to the city and it's like, well, we didn't see him, you know, and oh, but there he is. He's just here this whole time. Here he is. You'd be so angry, wouldn't you? What are you doing? You wasted so much of our time. Get in the caravan. Why are you doing this? Why are you wasting time? And he's like, what is it to you? I'm about my Father's business. So just that's well. Get in the car. We're going. I don't know. It sounds like a sass mouth today. Maybe it wasn't a sass mouth back then. That's what they say. But it kind of does sound like a sass mouth. What is it to you? I'm about my Father's business. What did he say? What's it to you? I think he says something like that. I don't know. I haven't read it forever. And I'm like, all right, well, let's go back. You can't be doing this stuff. What do you mean? I'm like, how does he know this stuff? Just some kind of intuition. Of course he knows it. It's from God. God knows everything. You know, that'd be pretty scary. To realize your kid was gone, that would just be devastating. That's one thing I didn't realize about that story until I was talking about it with the kids the other day, just how much that would have been like, that trail back. I think it was like a 2-week road, like a 2-week journey back. Oh my gosh, and 2 weeks out of your life, that must have been so frustrating. It's 2 weeks and then 2 weeks back, I think. It's like a month. Maybe your stuff got stolen while you were gone, I don't know. But who's taking care of your animals? It's just like, it's kind of a headache. To find him back there just messing around at the temple, they'd be like, oh my gosh, we have stuff to do. I wonder what it was like for him. You know, we hear his echoes here, even today. And he's there somewhere feeling us honor him, even still. 2,000 years later, we're still talking about him. Good or bad, he existed. We all know the story. And what he said while he was alive was pretty dang good. The stuff after the resurrection, I'd have to reread that. It has a slightly different thing.